Dallas has just been on a tear. I believe we can attribute that to Jason Robertson. Also, Jake Ottinger, who's really stepped in.
Yeah, so we can compare a rookie QB to a toddler. Hayward's absence for this game will be significant, and I wouldn't be surprised if this game turns into a blowout as of late.
The Golden Knights just can't pull it. I really think the Avalanche are determined this year.
They made so many moves and grabbed so many guys that they have to win a championship or at least make the finals. They were on our championship and bust.
The same self, the only year he won an MVP was the year he cheated, which really should put something against that MVP. But
yeah, and as a Cowboys fan, I have learned how dangerously good Aaron Rodgers has been with he can just thread a pass.
Hello, I am Ruby Ackerman, and you are listening to Outsider's Opinion with Kevin and Austin.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to our NFL Opinions of the Week. I'm Kevin. I'm joined by the man that I'm sure is a person that likes his coaches 3 years at the least. Austin.
In most circumstances, it's not 100%. I think we both agree that Urban Meyer was fired in the right amount of time, right? So there is circumstances where that's not the case. But if there's no extraordinary circumstances, then I usually like to abide by the rules that Kevin just stated with 3 years. Do you think Jerod Mayo was given a fair chance, or do you think that this is a rush firing to try to get Mike Vrabel, potentially a guy who's obviously won Super Bowls, but Jerod Mayo won Super Bowls at the same position as him? Obviously, he's not had the success that Mike Vrabel's had. Vrabel's been to an AFC Championship. He's been to one seed before. But do you think this was a rush firing, or was Jerod Mayo given a fair chance?
I don't think, talking about I'm good rushing and with Urban Meyer. I know a lot of people are criticizing Jerod Mayo for his coaching decisions, but I do think it was rushed, and I do think Mike Vrabel's gonna be the guy. But to me, this team was bad. That was noticeable. They didn't have a good roster because of Belichick wasn't a great GM in the final years, and I do think he should have been given another year because they did win in the final game. I think they were figuring stuff out. So I think 2 years would have been enough, especially with a better roster. They got a high pick this year. So I do think it's just, Mike Vrabel's available, but he also was really available. They could have it seemed rushed at the beginning too. It was just like, okay, we mutually agreed not to have Belichick return, and then, okay, we're just going to promote Jerod Mayo. There wasn't a lot of interviewing. It just seems like there's not a plan, and it's very because Vrabel would have been available if you waited a little bit before hiring Jerod Mayo. I just think it's Kraft kind of doing whatever and just going, never mind that we were super bad. It's your fault. It's really hard to expect a lot in 1 year for a head coach, especially with this type of roster.
Yeah, I totally understand your take there, and I agree that it was rushed. Do you think that winning yesterday, as we're recording this, has any influence getting to where you now have the number 4 pick instead of what I think was going to be the 1 pick, right?
Yeah, it was. I remember they were slated in the 1 pick. I do think it could have been but it's weird with New England because they drafted a quarterback. So the number 1 would have helped in drafting. It would have helped if you wanted a quarterback, but you'll still get a good player. Maybe not Travis Hunter, but I don't see it playing an effect because they're not really a quarterback needy team unless they want a new quarterback after not even a full year of Drake May.
Okay, I think that it had something to do with it. If that was a small part, it's a small part. I don't think it was big enough, though, to impact him getting fired when he did. I'm interested to see if Mike Vrabel decides to go there, because I do think he will if he's given the right circumstances. But I'm interested to see where the Patriots go moving forward. The question of this video, Kevin, is: did the Patriots make a mistake if they do end up hiring Mike Vrabel, is it still a mistake?
I'm going to say yes, because I'll look at the dates. But Mike Vrabel, I think, was fired pretty early into the season. In the offseason from Tennessee.
Yeah.
Because
So you're saying that the mistake wouldn't be firing Jerod Mayo, it'd be hiring Jerod Mayo.
yes. Because Jerod Mayo. So it says there was an article posted January 9th saying they fired him. Yeah, and Jerod Mayo was introduced January 17th. So yes, the mistake would be this was a mistake. You're acknowledging that the Jerod Mayo hire was a mistake because you're just going back to someone that was available when you hired him. And it's not after like 4 years. It's I'm trying to think. It's not like the Jets if they were to hire Bill Belichick. I know it doesn't make sense, but it wouldn't mean all the coaches before him was a mistake. It's in this short amount of time span of 1 year, you're going back on your decision when you had two options available. So, yes, I would say it's a mistake because you didn't give him enough time. If it's 2 or 3 years later, then to me, it's not really a mistake hiring Vrabel because years change. But just 1 year later seems to me like, yeah, we should have done this. We shouldn't have done this year. We should have just hired Vrabel from the start.
Yeah, I totally understand that. I do think that this is a mistake, but I have it for a different reason. Mine is because it sets a precedent that you're not going to give coaches time to make mistakes and learn to become better. The Patriots weren't very good when Belichick first started there, as you may remember. He was almost fired before they went on that run to the Super Bowl. So, but they gave him enough time to prove it. Just enough time, but they gave him time. And in this case, they're not. So this sets a precedent that, hey, if you go sign with the Patriots as a head coach, there's no guarantee. There's no guarantee that you're going to get any sort of time, any sort of support. And the reason why I say support is because he didn't. There was no way the Patriots were going to be contenders for a playoff spot this year, especially not a high contender for a playoff spot. They could have maybe won a here or there game that they ended up losing, but they have a lot of problems on that team, and Jerod Mayo was not given a fair opportunity to fix that. And I think for future head coaches, even if it is after Vrabel, they'll be like, I just remember what they did to Jerod Mayo, and I don't really know if I want that to happen to me.
Yeah, you bring up a good point, and we'll have to see because this does remind me a little bit of the Texans. When before they hired D'Amico Ryans, they had Caldwell. It was I'm trying to remember his name. It was the special teams coach. Oh, it was David Culley, and you also have Lovie Smith. David Culley. It was when no one really wanted the Texans job, and he was hired, and it was when the whole Deshaun Watson stuff was happening. He was an assistant head coach, and they did it twice, basically. They hired Culley for 1 year, same thing with Lovie Smith, then they went to D'Amico Ryans. They didn't really give those guys a chance. So, yeah, you do kind of see that of, does he really get a chance if he doesn't do well in the first year, which D'Amico Ryans did. But, yeah, I understand that point of saying it's a mistake, just of what it sets as the precedent.
Yeah, I just don't like seeing guys not get the opportunity that they may have deserved. And even if you don't think that he was going to be a great head coach, I do think that he deserved to prove a little bit more than what he was given here.
Yep, I'm full agreement on that. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. We appreciate you listening. And let us know your thoughts in the comments and be on the lookout for more videos from Outsiders Opinions.